Hello and welcome to the Sound Lab podcast interviews, unedited. On today's show, we have interviews from Thrice, Chroma, Civic, Youth Fountain, and we throw back to Download Festival 2023 to chat to The Warning. So without further ado, let's start off with our first interview with Thrice, who have a brand new record out this week. So Thrice, how are you?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
That pleasure is all mine. And we are about to be playing a new single of yours called Albatross. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorite songs on the record. Like sometimes I don't know why, but there's certain songs that you can kind of hear where they're going to be at when I'm singing, fake lyrics and just finding the melody. And then other ones, you feel like, I think once I like nail down the right words, it's going to come together. And this was one of those where once I got in the studio and sang the actual lyrics, it just kind of transformed and leveled up a bit. Tepe, our guitarist, was engineering it too, and he was like, "Man, that really that shifted for me. Like it, I don't know why." So that was interesting, but yeah, I feel like the song has a really cool energy and I don't know, some different movements than stuff we've done before with the way the chorus moves and stuff. But yeah, it's taking this idea of the albatross, which has kind of become a symbol of bad luck because of the associations from the old poem, the ancient Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. But that only happens because the main character kills this albatross that is their good luck omen. And so it's kind of taking it back and saying, or looking at that as a whole and saying, like, there's certain times that something that is literally our good luck charm, like we destroy it ourselves and it becomes this curse. And I think there's a challenge there to not fuck things up when they're going your way. Yeah, we're our own worst enemy a lot of the time, which I definitely know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, that is certainly the case. And that track is coming off a new record of yours called Horizons West, which is out 3rd of October. What can we expect to hear on the record?
I think this is about as good of a idea of like this song, and it doesn't all sound like this, but I don't know. I feel like it captures some of the energy of the record. I'm really excited with how it turned out, the mix and everything. We used the same mixer as the last two records and master, but for whatever reason, this one I feel like just leveled up a bit, and it just feels like I think it's the best sounding record we've ever had. Yeah, but there's some fun stuff on there. We have another song out already called Nash that's kind of heavier than stuff we've done in a while, both with kind of some screaming stuff, and then there's like double bass in the end, which we haven't had in 20 years. So I think there's certain things that come out on this record that and maybe will continue to come out in future stuff, but us revisiting both the Artist in the Ambulance and the Illusion of Safety, which had their 20-year anniversaries, a couple years back. We were playing shows around those, and we re-recorded the Artist in the Ambulance, and it was a good way to reapproach some ways of playing that we haven't been engaged with for a while, and letting those feel fun and interesting, and not something that we felt like we have to do this because someone expects us to do it. So there's been a little bit of a full circle on that of we're always trying to incorporate different influences and things we're excited about, and there's kind of a cycle or repicking up of some of that, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sound that you made with this record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of just how it turned out while you were recording it in the studio?
I mean, the sounds, as far as like the tones and everything, are definitely what we wanted. I think the character of the songs is definitely something that always sneaks up on you a little bit, because I think the main problem for us, or the challenge for us, is we have all these ideas and we all write and collaborate together. And so when we're making a record, there's probably 120 ideas that we're sharing, that we're trying to figure out which of these do we actually pursue. And so you're trying to find which ones is everyone excited about. How do you take one that you're excited about and kind of get everyone to get on board with what's happening, or at least what your vision is for it. And there's a lot of that, of trying to figure that out. So that's hard. And then I think the thing that was unique for this record was the actual time that we were in the studio all together, like trying to hash out what was going to be the record, was only about a month, and we were in there, like every day. And I think that short time period helped keep a lot of the when you're first playing a song together, like there's things that come out that when you don't really know what you're doing, that there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens. And so we would record as we were jamming and listen back, like, oh, that was cool. And we didn't have enough time to really, beat it to death. We were able to be like, oh, that was cool. Yeah, go with that. And I think really lean into the fact that we were going to finish it in this time period and not overthink things. And to me, at least, that really comes through. There's a feeling of kind of an immediacy, or I don't know the best word for it, but there's definitely a life to it that I'm really happy with.
Good, good. And how does this record compare in comparison to your previous records, especially as there's a Horizons East out there as well?
Yeah, so this is kind of a companion piece to that, and there's a variety of ways that it ties in, whether thematically or like the last song on each record are definitely companion pieces. There's little kind of Easter eggs buried in there, but I think, especially compared to that one, for whatever reason, this one, it has more energy. There's kind of a interesting patience to the last record, which I like. There's a lot of space, and this one has a little more just push, even on the more slower, mellow songs, I guess. And then another thing that's fun about this one, I think, is that because we had this idea of having these companion records, but we were originally going to have them come out a lot closer together, we ended up realizing we needed to kind of reset, take a break, and not just push forward just because we had the idea of doing two in a row really quick. But it gave me time to really think about how I was going to theme this towards the West, and really, I think it's the most kind of thematically consistent record since the Alchemy Index for us, for lyrically. And so that was a lot of fun, and essentially the whole thing is taking the setting sun as like kind of this overarching metaphor that gets played with and dressed up in a lot of different ways throughout the record. So it's fun.
Yeah, nice. And I'm sure you wrote more than what's made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Do you consider them again down the line for your solo work, or is it a case of writing for specific projects or bin them off? What happens to the tracks now?
So we have tons of ideas, but we almost never finish more songs than we are putting out. I don't know, I think we're just very critical as we write. So the fact, I think it's different than when you're, like doing a solo thing. You kind of have more full ideas. You're like, yeah, that can be a song. When we're all combining stuff, it takes a while for it to turn into something that's like, all right, yeah, this is a song for us. And then more work to actually get it to the finish line. So we don't hardly ever have like full songs lying around, but the problem is, we have just hundreds now of like ideas that could be cool that are just sitting there, and we're going to generate another 100 and whatever for the next record. And so there's just tons of stuff that never gets used, and you get used to just like, I don't know, that's fine. It's just gonna sit there. I mean, it's not like you can run out of songs. There's always something there. So yeah, no, nothing that we did not put out on the record that got completed. So
cool. Yeah, nice. And when it comes to the writing side of things, how do tracks normally start off for you?
For Thrice, it's 99.9% of the time is music first. And it's usually some piece of movement or a riff or a beat. There's something that's kind of just hooking us on its own, and that starts interesting the other band members, and we'll start to piece things together. Sometimes it's just, I think, because I'm the lyricist and the singer, I'll have a little bit of more of a defined, like, okay, I've got this melody too and this kind of movement, but it always comes back then to like everybody collaborating, everybody bringing more ideas into the picture and letting it develop from there. And then when I'm writing lyrics, I'm really trying to tell a story that mirrors the story that the music is already telling, and let that be a pretty strong guiding force there.
Yeah, nice. And when it is writing time for you, are you writing for the specific project itself, like Thrice or your solo work, or is it a case of writing and then seeing where it will fit after that?
It depends. Well, so like the beginnings of almost everything is just trying to stay aware of the little things that are flashing through your brain and what's catching you. And so a lot of it starts with just voice memos for me. So those are usually fairly clear if they're gonna like maybe go towards something for Thrice or something for my solo stuff. And so a lot of the solo stuff will start with me, just sitting around with an acoustic guitar and be like, oh, that was cool. A lot of the Thrice stuff will be just some random thing going through my head that I'm going, okay, boop, boop, beep, bop, and then into my phone, and then later trying to figure out what that meant, which is usually I can't. But every once in a while something sticks with you. Yeah, so there's a trust in knowing that, like, I don't know quite what this is gonna be, but it's here in my head now. There's something compelling about it. So like, for instance, there's a song on the record called The Dark Glow, and there's this really pretty quiet part in the middle of it. And so Riley had this part on, just guitar, and it's really quiet and tender. And I heard it and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. And a melody came to mind. So I just recorded myself singing over that and then left it and didn't know if anything was going to come from it or what that was going to be. And then, that ended up being the melody of that part. But I think there's something more powerful about capturing that than sometimes going back and being like, okay, I need to write a thing on this now. And, I could write a ton of different melodies, but something about when I first heard it, capturing what it inspired me to feel is important. And so if you can capture those little things, it's like you're essentially gathering material that you can use to build something later.
Yeah, nice. And some good news is that you'll be heading back out on tour through October and November across the States. I bet you can't wait to be on the road again.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun to play new stuff too. I feel like for us, the creative act is really what drives us to keep doing this. And there's a sense in which the real completion of that creative act is performing the song live. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, good. And there's US and Canada dates kind of booked in at the moment. Are you hoping to add some more in this year? Is that the idea, or is it just this for now?
I think early next year we will be heading overseas. So that is the general plan. There's no solid dates announced yet, but you can be looking for some.
Good, good. Is there anywhere you've not been to yet that you want to get to at some point?
I don't know. We keep trying to get back to Japan, but it's just the numbers don't crunch very well to just, not for flying really far away and whatever, to not just come out of there and maybe lose money or break even. So, and we're trying to get back down to South America too. We've only done that once, and it was a ton of fun. But the timing keeps not working on that, so that's what we're trying right now.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Thrice ahead of their brand new record, which is out this week. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sound Lab Yes on all the socials. And you can also check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. So while you go and find us online and on all the socials, and give us some follows, of course, we're going to play you our next interview from Chroma. They've got a brand new single out this week. We had a chat with them at 2000 Trees Festival, all about it. So, Chroma, how are you?
Hello, we're good. I think we're very hot.
It is very warm. How was the show?
It was good. It was good. We've wanted to play Trees for like so many years now, and like we're in a really good place at the moment. I think like with like new material and stuff like that, and it was just banging. We just really enjoyed.
Yeah, I think we've been badgering a lot of people here to try and get a slot for a very long time. So when we got offered this one, we were like, yes, we'll take it. We'll bite your hand off for it. But yeah, it's really nice to be here.
Good. And any plans for the rest of the day, rest of the weekend?
Rest of the day, I think me, Bev, and my boyfriend. Well, you're shooting off because you're working a very important show. But what's called me, Bev. We're gonna wait around, watch Cappellay, watch Bear of Paris, and then just take it all in. It's absolutely banging. Yeah, it's really nice. So we're like done, clocked off for the day, and just got to keep that SPF up, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned new music, so tell us where you're at.
So we kind of did that thing that all bands do, where we just love playing shows so much that we just played so many gigs and didn't write any new songs for a while. But we got to a point last year we were like, right, we need to probably follow up with another album at some point. And we haven't quite got the full album yet, but we've recorded a batch of songs and they should be coming out very soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. That'll start. So yes, we played a couple of new tunes today. It was fairly good response. A couple of people were going, oh my god, have you played some new songs? And we were like, yes we did, thank you for noticing.
Yeah, no, it was really nice, and it was really nice, like kind of like the way the new songs kind of slot into the old ones, and it was just banging, wasn't it? It's just good vibes. Love it.
How's the new record sounding as well? Is it?
It sounds like the last one, but better.
Yeah, it sounds like the last one, but better. I feel like that's what everyone says. Hopefully about their like next one. Hopefully this is, but we really love songs. Really, really enjoying starting to play them live, and they're quite like meaningful and stuff. So so it's like it's exciting, and it's just like but like really open, and it's nice. It's nice to see what people think of them, to be honest with you, because you get obsessed with them for like for ages. So.
Yeah, and the sound that you've made with this record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of how it's turned out?
Yes, I think so. I mean, it's very much our producer Stefan Pringle, who's very, very good at what he does. He produces loads of bands, Himalayas included, who are like just down the road from us in South Wales. He's got a brain that, I mean, when we initially started working with him, we were like, this is how we want it to sound. Yeah. And I think it was the first time we worked with a producer who went, cool, I'm going to take what you're doing and I'm going to amplify it, rather than, I think we've had some history. We've worked with a couple of people and they've been very good at what they do all the same, but I think they've taken what they think it should sound like, and we've kind of always been like, this is how it should sound. Yeah. But Steph's amazing, and we can go to him, and we're very passionate about not doing anything in the studio that we can't take live, and there are constant ideas from Steph that comes in that he goes, let's give this a go.
Like this way, yeah.
And we all kind of go, well, how are we going to do that live? And he goes, oh, you could just get this one thing.
He like has to like pitch it to Bev, which is quite funny. He's like, because Bev's very much like, we want to make as much of the noise like live as we can. So we don't have like backing tracks or anything like that, you know. No shade on people who do, fair enough, sounds banging. But like, we like to kind of rock up and like create our own sound. So that's something that's really important to us. And I think it's just like a little bit more mature. Yeah, a bit more mature.
The new songs definitely feel more mature.
Yeah. The new one it's called River House. It's about like I don't losing one of my best mates. So it's like kind of like heartfelt in that way, but like it's real shit. Am I allowed to swear?
Not really.
I
don't know.
It's like
Sorry.
it's like real and it's just honest, and we're really proud of it and excited to pop it out into the world, isn't it?
No, yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to the writing side of things, how do the tracks normally start off for you guys?
It's kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Sometimes different people have different ideas, but the way we love writing songs is getting in a room and just making noise and seeing what fits, bringing ideas in, developing ideas, kind of thinking, right, okay, we've got a couple of different ideas that might work together. And it kind of, we're quite lucky in the sense that I think between the three of us, when we're all in a room together, it naturally falls in.
Yeah, we're massive jammers. We just jam it, and then I'm quite procrastinator. I usually leave like the lyrics now until like the day of. It's like, you can do better than that. And I think like what's really nice about like this new batch of songs, I feel like we've kind of all pushed ourselves in a different way, and it's just exciting. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. And I'm sure you want to be on the road and doing some shows. What's your plan next for you guys?
Well, the plan is to get this new music out and pretty much work around from there. I think that's step one at the moment for us. I mean, you can't. We gig all the time, and it did, like I said earlier, it does get to a point where you don't have any other time if you're just playing shows. So it was quite important for us to kind of just put a pin in it and just have a bit of a breather and recoup. We had a really amazing couple of years over the last few years, and so the main thing is put the plan in place, and then we will route all of the shows around that.
It's a really exciting time though, isn't it? Because like we've got it's like a new set that's like developing with all these like new songs, and we're really excited to share them with people. We are.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hoping to go overseas at some point? Back to Europe, States, elsewhere?
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully. We love travelling. I mean, we love going to loads of different places. I mean, we've got a bit of a tradition where we get a tattoo wherever we go that's kind of a bit of representative of where that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we did so much over the last couple of years that we were very much like, right, cool, we've been a bit of here, there and everywhere. We kind of need to just double down on what we're doing, get around the UK. 'Cause, I mean, we've only really done one proper UK tour last year with Golden Look and Chain, and that was incredible. But yeah, we were kind of like, let's focus on being at home, and then if an opportunity comes through, then we will take it. But it's very much focusing on here.
It's the dream, it's the dream. But like, we're really much enjoying what we're doing, and we're excited to see what people make of the next kind of bit,
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Chroma from 2000 Trees Festival from earlier this year. Now, if you are listening to us on Spotify, then you'll be pleased to hear we also have a fresh playlist on Spotify, which brings you 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we feel like you might just enjoy yourselves. And if you want to check that out, search for Fresh by The Sound Lab on Spotify, or head to the website thesoundlabuk.co.uk. So while you go and save that playlist to listen to a little bit later on, we've got a brand new interview from Civic, who we had a chat with earlier this year. This is what they had to say. So, Civic, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
Not too bad. You're here at 2000 Trees.
Yeah.
How's your day been so far?
It's good. We only just got here, 15, 20 minutes ago, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Drove in from London. Did that whole thing.
What did we see on the way?
I didn't see shit. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, leave me out of this.
No, I saw, what did I see? I saw some baby horses. I saw some baby sheep. I'm a bit of an animal guy these days. I love animals. I saw a fox last night in London. I got a trash can. I was trying to get it to come eat out of the trash can with me. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, nice. You ready for tonight?
Ready for tonight. Should be good. I think we're maybe closing the new stage, I think. 8:45.
Kick out the things, close it down like that.
Exactly, I think so. We'll be packing it up, setting up tomorrow morning as well, doing the whole thing.
Yeah, nice. We've been playing a single of yours, Chrome Dipped.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about the release.
It came out a couple of months ago.
Yep.
It's a bit of a different sound for us, but it's a bit of a new direction for us. But we think that it's a good direction, and we love that song and we love playing it live. So
good.
Yeah.
Was it the plan to go in that direction, or is it just kind of how the single turned out?
The whole album was just a bit of a step into a new direction for us, and we just wanted to sort of change things up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So And that was the first song where we kind of like, all right, how are we going to navigate changing this up? The drums are very different, guitar tones are different, vocally it's different, you know. So it was a bit of a risk at the start, but we feel good about it and we think it's a great song. So
yeah, and it was a decision that you made to do it.
Of course, you got to. If you make the decision, you've got to, you know, stick with it and see it through.
Yeah, absolutely. And how's the record sounding?
What's that?
How's the record sounding?
It's amazing.
Good.
Have you not heard it?
I've not heard it.
Bruh,
No,
what do you mean, man?
Saying album of the year. Just saying.
Good. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know. And when it comes to the writing side of things, how do tracks normally start off for you guys?
Usually we've got a little studio where we live. We kind of come in, someone will just pop in with an idea usually, and then we all kind of just slowly brick by brick. There's not really like, oh, one person has to go, oh, I have the ideas for everything, and then it goes like step by step. It kind of flows a little bit, which is nice. So sometimes Lewis will come in and be like, oh, I thought of this riff when I was out last night, and he's got a voice memo of him like kind of doing it with his mouth, and then he comes in, and then he'll come in and be like, this is my idea, and it's like him singing it in the bathroom to himself, and he's like, all right, sweet, and then you kind of add bit by bit. But it's kind of a collective way, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's always good. No one's ideas ever get like thrown. Yeah, you know, there's always room for everyone's ideas and stuff like that. So it's nice. It's a good way of doing it. Exactly.
That's how you want it to be as well.
Everything's welcome. Any idea is good, bad, you know.
Yeah. Does everyone kind of stick to their own parts though, or do you kind of have influence on
I think
the lyrics
like
and the guitar and the?
Lewis and Jim kind of like Jim obviously more so on the lyrics, but Lewis taps in as well because he kind of sings a couple songs like back it up.
Your kid though, do they?
No one touches my kid apart from Kieran, the dude, the guy who produced him. He's somewhere floating around.
He's the only one.
He's the only one I let kind of do anything on the kit. Because what? I'm gonna get a producer in and tell him to fuck off when he, you know, comes in the studio. That's not how it works. But no, I think like everyone's pretty good at like not feeling like if there's criticism, not even criticism, but more so like an idea. No one's like, oh, well, that's not what I thought. You know, everyone's pretty open, going like, oh yeah, let's try it that way, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, everyone's like, all right, it didn't work. Let's just go back to what we did.
Yeah, nice. And once you finish here this weekend, what's your plan next?
So we leave tomorrow morning. We're going to Belgium, Shockfest.
Nice.
And then we've got another about 2 weeks, I think, left on our tour, our 10-week tour, which has been pretty fun.
We're 6 weeks in, 3 weeks to go.
So,
still look amazing.
Yeah.
It's like day one.
Exactly. So off to Belgium, and then we go through Europe again, and then end down at Binnick in France, which will be good.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And once you finish kind of this run of dates, are you doing more for the rest of this year?
Yeah, we got a bunch of Australia shows September, and then we got a cool tour coming up in December, which we can't say anything about, but around Australia. But yeah, we're always doing stuff. Got more music on the way. Just keep the ball rolling, man.
Yeah, nice and busy. Is there anywhere you've not been to yet that you want to get to at some point?
I think we're maybe tossing up going like towards Greece. That kind of side of the world. Like obviously we've done Europe a fair few times now, but we're trying to kind of there's talks of maybe going to the Balkans run eventually. So we're kind of tossing that up, but obviously logistics wise, we want to go to Asia as well. Start thinking about like an Asian tour, maybe to Japan, Singapore, Indonesia kind of thing. Kind of start to hit a little, you know, obviously when you go to the same places it's always great and you build your fan base, but it's always nice going somewhere new and expanding the profile as well. Makes it a bit more fun, you know, getting to see the world and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got fans though too, you know.
Well, yeah.
That's what I mean.
You can only go if you've got fans there.
People message all the time being like, why aren't you coming here? And we're like, I don't know. And we're like, how do we do it? And they're like, I don't know. And you're like, all right, well, I guess no one knows, but we'll get there eventually, so it's sweet.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen. I'm sure it will. And with kind of working on new music as well, do you know what direction you're going to be taking it again, or?
Nah, we just work it out when we get in there, right? Like once we get back from this tour, we'll just jump back in the frying pan and just get it cooking, you know?
One step at a time.
It's kind of the good thing about the new album. It opened up a lot of pathways to go instead of being kind of stuck more towards one. You kind of open it up a little bit more, so we can kind of do whatever the fuck we want now, which is nice. And it won't probably swing people to be like, whoa, what the fuck is that, you know?
We might do a like a Bee Gees sort of a cappella-y kind of vibe next. Who knows?
Why not?
The world's our clan.
Give it a try.
Thinking almost like John Butler Trio kind of shit as well, man. You know, boombox slapping acoustic.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get my dreadlocks ready.
Is there more things that you want to try and see if they work for you, or?
I think we might try. No, I'm not going to give away what we're going to go for. Actually, you know what? We've got ideas going on, but I think
I'm down for anything.
I think it's better sometimes to keep that stuff a secret. I don't want anyone to know what we've got in the store. It's a better way to do it, I reckon.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Civic. Now, if you're loving today's interviews, then you'll be pleased to hear we also have an international radio show that plays all these interviews in an edited form. It comes alongside loads of new music and a live session. If you want to find that, head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click International Radio Show, and you'll be able to listen to that after this show has finished. So make sure you save it for then. So while you go and save it, we're going to play you our final new interview, and it comes from Youth Fountain, who we had a little catch up with at 2000 Trees Festival earlier this year. So, Youth Fountain, how are you?
I'm doing good. Feels good to be back in the UK, and I don't know, just play a show, like a solo show. It was a lot of fun. Feeling good. It's been a good day.
Did it go well?
Oh yeah, really, really well. I didn't know what to expect. I never do. You know, you fly over here from Canada, just like, okay, hopefully it goes good, and people came through. It was a solid show. People liked it. I could not be more stoked on that.
Good. Yeah. That's good. And once you finish here this weekend, what's your plan next?
We're touring with a band called Spare Kid. So we're all in a van together. We're doing that, and our show tomorrow is, I think it's Leeds. Mm-hmm. So we're doing Leeds, and then I think it's, Manchester. I know that we're playing all around the UK. Obviously going up to Scotland. We're going to Glasgow, and that's about it though. It's I think 10 dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the plan for the rest of this year? Is it touring? Are you back in the studio?
Studio time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna be writing more music. That's about it. So a lot of music to write now. Put out a new record. Fully independent now. Not on a record label, so no limitations there.
But a lot more work.
Oh yeah, a lot more work, but more payout.
Is it worth it?
It is. It is worth it for sure. Especially, I like to think I've built a good fan base now. Mm-hmm. So anything I put out now, I have a supportive fan base that'll support what I do musically, and it'll help sustain the project so I can keep doing it.
Yeah. And do you know what direction you're wanting to take the new music at the moment?
God, it's always, I feel like the music that I write, it always comes out like emo pop punk. That's just what comes out of me. I can try to do some kind of different stuff, but I just feel like the sound that I have and what comes out, that's just what it is. So I'm sure it sounds like Youth Fountain. And I put out a single a couple months ago now, and it was one of a new song that I wrote. Just decided to write a song and put it out, and then I listened to it. I'm like, yep. That sounds like Youth Fountain.
And when are you hoping more music's going to come out? Is it
probably the end of the year? Yeah. End of the year or early next year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's in the works.
Nice.
It's happening.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
I like to talk about the writing side of things as well.
Yeah.
So for you, how do the tracks normally start off?
For me, I always just I do it all myself. So I plug in my interface, I grab my guitar, and I just kind of come up with a riff that I like. So I'll be strumming along, writing like a structure of how a song kind of sounds to me. So I can start off with an intro, go to a verse, pre-chorus, chorus. You know, it could be a post-chorus, go into another verse. I kind of think of how it's going to sound in the key. It just all kind of comes out of my head like that, with just my guitar. And I kind of do the structure first. And then that's when I do all the drums. I program drums, throw it all in together like that. And then once I have a finished song instrumentally, that's when I start to just put it in, listen to it a lot, and I just hum out lyrics and melodies.
Yeah.
And then I kind of write down the lyrics, and that's when I do vocals, and that's usually how I get a bare bones of a song. And then I can do a lot of mixing, production, change things there, until I'm like, okay, this sounds like a fucking sick song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I've done a lot of my songs, and I like doing it that way.
Good. And when it comes to the lyrics, do they have to mean something and make sense, or because I know a lot of bands just write random words?
Yeah, random words.
Music. What's it like for you?
I like to make them make sense. I try to tell a story in a song. I try to speak my mind of like how I'm feeling in the moment too, and having it be an expression of who I am.
Yeah.
So I try my best to do that. There's some times where like I can like kind of come up with words that like at first don't really mean anything, but then I can kind of like translate them into turning into some meaning something. And like when I include other like the next part of the song or like next lyrics in it, it's fucking weird how that shit works, but that's art, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And how come? Because not many artists do things on their own themselves, especially in this genre of music as well. What was the reason behind doing everything yourself rather than kind of getting a band together for it?
I feel like since I was a kid, I've always written things like on my own. I remember in high school and stuff, I tried to do like be in a band and like be with other people and do like a whole team kind of thing. And I think with the person that I am, it's just not who I am. I don't think it meshes well with my creative process of like how I go about writing songs and how I do things and why people like Youthfound for what it is, because it's something that came out of like me. And then once I include a lot of other parties into it, like the most I could kind of do is like producing, like having like another ear or some co-writes in there, which I don't mind. But I really like doing it solo. I think it's a lot easier. You don't have as many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. And it's just, it makes more sense in my brain to do it that way.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And what's 2026 going to hold for you? Is it going to be the releasing year? Is it going to be a touring year? What's kind of on your mind?
Probably definitely the releasing year. I know in the summertime, I don't know if I'm going to do much touring between May through like July. I'm getting married. So I'm doing a whole marriage like with my family and everything. So that'll be no touring there. So, but that's still sick. But other than that, that'll be probably a releasing year. Doing some touring in the spring and maybe fall touring or the winter then.
Yeah.
But it'll definitely be a year of a lot of new Youthfound songs.
Nice.
That's the plan there.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Is there anywhere that you've not toured yet that you want to get to?
So many places, man. Oh, I've always wanted to tour Japan so bad. Japan is a big one I'd love to go to. Australia, I've never toured there. I feel like those are two like relatively good markets. Even like just like Asia in general, like Southeast Asia, doing anything like that. I don't really know if there's a market in like New Zealand. I don't know how other things would be there. That'd be cool to go to, regardless. I'd like to tour more in like Europe again. All through Canada as well, where I'm fucking from. I haven't played Canada in years, so I would really like to actually play my own fucking country.
Yeah, that's probably top of your list.
Yeah, top of my list.
Probably
too.
Easiest as well, isn't it?
You'd think so, but like, man, I live in Vancouver, and to get to the next huge city, like Calgary, is like a 14-hour drive, and you got to go through all these fucking mountains. So that's brutal in itself. There, each city is like so far away from each other. It gets ridiculously hard to tour Canada.
Yeah.
Especially, like, the market isn't as big as it is in the States. Like, you go to the States, you can drive 6 or 5 hours and be in another major city and have a whole big market. Whereas Canada, you're taking, like, 14-hour drives to one city to the next, and the markets are, like, half the size. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes.
Yeah.
Unless you're on, like, a big tour, it could be worth it, but not a lot of the times it is. Yeah. One day, though. I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah, I'm sure. And speaking of touring around the world as well, I'm sure you look at your streaming analytics and see where people are listening to you. Is there any strange countries on there that you've kind of gone, how are they listening to me in that country?
You know, that's a funny question because I don't really check. I don't really know. But you're making me want to check where I should kind of like figure out where people are listening to me the most because I don't really know. I assume it's the States, but I think the UK too, like, has a big chunk of people that like Youthfound. Clearly, I mean, I played London last night. It was a great show. Today was amazing. So I'm stoked on all the love from the UK.
Nice.
So let's just say that it's the UK. I'm surprised that a lot of people like me here.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Youth Fountain from 2000 Trees Festival 2025. And this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time, and we're going back just a couple of years to Download Festival 2023, where we had a chat with a whole bunch of artists, including what was at the time a brand new up-and-coming trio called The Warning, while they've been making waves ever since. And we're going to play the interview from Download 2023 once again. So The Warning, how are you?
We're great, thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, you're here at Download Festival.
Yes, we are.
How's your day been so far?
Oh, it's been awesome. We played. We were the first band at the open stage. We really didn't expect that many people because 1 p.m. it's pretty early. It was packed, and the vibes of this festival are just amazing, and it's a very important festival worldwide. So us being a Mexican band and being here, it's just an honor.
Yeah, good. And you've been busy releasing music with your latest record out last year. For those who haven't heard the record, tell us a bit about it.
Okay, so Error was the last album that we released. It's an album that talks about society, and it's just a very powerful rock and roll album.
Mm-hmm.
But we recently just released a new single that is called More, and I feel like this is a very big step, like an evolution of what our sound is, and it's very energetic, and we just played it live today, and people reacted awesomely to it, so we're just very happy about it.
Yeah, good. And speaking of your new track, More, how does this single sound in comparison to your previous?
Ooh, I feel like it's a bit...
It's still us,
Yeah,
but
very us.
we did try to experiment with new sounds, but I feel like it's still really us, really energetic, and it's a really fun song. So.
More than anything, I feel like since we started out when we were so young, and we started writing when we were kind of like children, Jesus. So I feel like we were still finding our footing in what we wanted our sound to be. So now that we're at this age, we're still kind of young, honestly, but I feel like we're finding our footing and what we want to keep doing in the future.
And with this new single, is this now the start of more new music and into the next album territory now?
Ooh, I mean, technically, yes. Time is really weird right now because we're touring, but hopefully between touring, we get to record new music because it is written. We have the material. We just need to sit down, record it, and release it. But hopefully, yes.
Yeah, good. And speaking of touring, out on the road with Muse.
Yes.
How's that been?
Oh, God, it's been amazing. So we opened for Muse in Mexico at the beginning of the year, and that was a huge honor for us. Muse is one of our, they're role models. It was one of the bands that really inspired us to do what we do. So opening for them in our country was a huge honor, but then being invited by them to come over here in the UK and open their shows in their home country was just amazing. Like our first show ever in this side of the world in the UK was in a stadium in Plymouth, in their hometown show. It was just amazing. It's been an honor.
Yeah, good. And the same kind of happened with Guns N' Roses as well.
Yes, we opened for them in our hometown, Monterrey, last year, I think, And now we've been invited back to open for them in the US, which is going to be amazing.
And what's it like for bands like Muse, like Guns N' Roses, to get in touch with you and to say, do you want to play with us?
Jesus, it's always, for us, it's so nerve-wracking. These are bands that inspired us to do what we do. It's one of the reasons that we started doing what we do. And opening for them and then meeting them and then being I don't know if impressed is the word, but them liking what they see. And not only us, but from our crew, our whole team being good enough to be called back. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, I bet. So when it comes to writing, how do tracks normally start off? Is it lyric first? Is it a melody? Is it a riff? How do things kick off?
I think it's a mixture
of everything. Yeah, usually Pau starts on the piano because she's a drummer, so she starts on the piano, and she usually has melody, a bit of lyrics, a concept of what the song is about. And after she's done with that, we get all together and we try and put up the instruments. But every song changes a bit.
Yeah, every time
to how it starts.
Starts differently.
Yeah. And once you step foot into the studio, you obviously have your demo sorted. But how do you then get it from demo to a finished track?
God, well, I feel like that's the most fun process of the whole recording music thing, because you go from having this idea kind of there to it being fully there and what you imagined when you started writing it.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful process to see how it evolves, and it is also one of the most tiring process of like the whole thing, because you have such a clear idea in your head and then translating it correctly can sometimes be a hassle. But we're sisters, so we communicate very clearly. So we all know each other very well, and we can translate it into music.
Yeah. And as you're all related, as you're all sisters, do you ever have that family rift that most families have compared to when you wouldn't be family members?
Okay, rift. What does that mean?
Like a confrontation.
Oh, okay. So we get along very well as a family, like really well. And of course, like any family, any siblings, we have our ups and downs. We have our fights.
Yeah.
But we get along really well, so we know each other very well, and we know when to back off or when we're not right. And we I think ego is not such a big problem in our family. Like especially when it comes when we're working to the music and everything, we know that this is a bigger than us thing. It's not a if we get pissed at each other, we still have to get that show. It's better to just get make up and just continue, and it's about understanding and communication. So it's all good.
And which one of the three of you is in charge?
In charge?
I don't think any of us are.
I think it's a good balance, and it depends on what, honestly. But we have a good equality, democracy. Yes.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with The Warning from Download Festival 2023. And that's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid, but don't you worry, we will be back next week with another episode of Interviews Unedited. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials, and check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and we'll be back next week for another episode of Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.